Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another spicy episode of the Sanity stream with Lucius Coal. If you like this type of content, go down below, like, subscribe, share, and of course leave a comment if you think I deserve it. The Coal Factory and the Coal Train on our way to 1,000 Patriots strong. Thanks to people like you watching content like this. Ladies and gentlemen, acquittal. Ladies and gentlemen, another day, another impeachment, another glorious win for the former president, Donald Trump. Of course, a lot of us believe this was an impeachment sham from the very beginning. The double standards from the left, the double standards from these cultists. I'm thinking of just starting to call them cultists because they're not really leftists at this point. They're so dogmatic in their thinking. It's kind of ironic because back in the 90s when I was growing up, it was always the right, or the religious right, if you will. They were constantly deemed the ones that were trying to cancel things, cancel music labels, music, bad words, video games, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, it's as if everything just turned on its head. And now it's the right that is fighting for an ability to speak, and it is the left that is trying to silence anyone who dares to oppose them. With that said, this is a latest report by President Donald Trump putting out a nice little message for everybody in terms of this impeachment sham. Take a look. I want to first thank my team of dedicated lawyers and others for their tireless work upholding justice and defending truth. My deepest thanks as well as all to the United States senators and members of Congress who stood proudly for the Constitution we all revere and for the sacred legal principles at the heart of our country. Our cherished constitutional republic was founded on the impartial rule of law, the indispensable safeguard for our liberties, our rights, and our freedoms. Yeah, right. People don't care. The Congress doesn't care about the Constitution. They put their hand up, they swear an oath to the Constitution, and then they just treat it like a rag. They treat it like toilet paper. So it is a sad commentary on our times that one political party in America is given a free pass to denigrate the rule of law, defame law enforcement, cheer mobs, excuse rioters, and transform justice into a tool of political vengeance, and persecute, blacklist, and cancel, and suppress all people and all viewpoints with whom or which they disagree. I always have and always will be a champion for the unwavering rule of law, the heroes of law enforcement, and the right of Americans to peaceably and honorably debate the issues of the day without malice and without hate. This has been yet another phase of the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country. No president has gone through anything like this, and it continues because our opponents cannot forget the almost 75 million people, the highest number ever for a sitting president, who voted for us just a few short months ago. I also want to convey my gratitude to the millions of decent, hardworking, law-abiding, God and country-loving citizens who have bravely supported these important principles in these very difficult and challenging times. Our historic, patriotic, and beautiful movement to make America great again has only just begun. In the months ahead, I have much to share with you, and I look forward to continuing our incredible journey together to achieve American greatness for all of our people. There has never been anything like it. We have so much work ahead of us, and soon it will emerge with a vision for a bright, radiant, and limitless American future. Together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. We remain one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. It is our responsibility to preserve this magnificent inheritance for our children and for generations of Americans to come. May God bless all of you, and may God forever bless the United States of America. Wow. Incredible message. And again, I think a lot of us understand that this was political malice. This was politically driven. And this is the second impeachment in a row. It boggles my mind how this is being voted on in terms of party lines. It really is a huge bash to the system when you're going after a man who is no longer in office. The door that this is going to open up in the future in terms of targeting political opponents. But the left doesn't care because they see everything as power. It's either the haves or the have-nots. And what's ironic is right now, they are the ones with all the power. They have the Senate, they have the House, they have the presidency. And what have they done? What have they done? We are about halfway through February. The Democrats ruling both chambers, and we have Joe Biden pushing out executive orders like a tyrannical dictator. I mean, if he really wanted these things passed, why doesn't he just go through the House and go through the Senate? He has the numbers. What is he waiting for? Why is he using the pen so arrogantly and so flippantly without convening with the actual Congress, who are supposed to be the people that do the laws? Either way, guys, it's nice to be past this thing. But of course, the media is absolutely insane. And they're losing it. I mean, they've been losing it for a long time. But this really was a huge indication for a lot of people that the media has nothing to talk about other than Trump. Now that this impeachment is over, they really have no idea what to do. Their ratings are dropping. People just don't seem as interested anymore. Call it what you will, but the horse and pony show that was Donald Trump was a huge contributing factor to their ratings. And now that you have senile and slow Joe in the office, it seems like they're just falling all over themselves. They have no idea what to do. They are propagandists, they are evil, they are Darwinian, and they will do anything in their power to try to remove you from your hard-earned money, remove your freedom, remove your ability to travel, and basically scare you into a place of complacency so that you have no will to fight back. Masculinity is dying in America, and this is all by design. While China pushes out their views of making men more masculine and more strong, it seems like weakness is treated as if it is oh so great. This victim mentality is absolutely destroying this nation, and the left is actively embracing it. This is where we're at. Of course, for those of you who haven't seen this clip, it is truly amazing. This is Donald Trump's lawyer during the impeachment, and we have CBS News out here coming at him, of course, with a slanted view, and he just drops the hammer on these sycophants. Take a look.
In the insurrection, during it, he said that the former president is still liable for everything he did during his period in office. Are you expecting to face more charges against Mr. Trump in the near future, and do you anticipate being part of that defense?
No, that's just political rhetoric, and I was hopeful that something would come out of this, that the political rhetoric would stop out of Washington, D.C., but I guess apparently it hasn't.
Nope, it's not going to. They are going to milk this cow. I kid you not. They might just go for the third impeachment. And if you think I'm crazy, look at what they've done. Look at what they've done already. The left is insatiable. They are obsessed with this man. They really are. They are absolutely obsessed. Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. And if you have it, I highly recommend you go to your doctor and get that thing checked out. I am not a medical expert, but Trump derangement syndrome, it could actually be worse than the coof. Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not quite sure what the statistics are. The CDC, I can't really trust them in terms of their own numbers, so God knows how many people have it. With that said, let's keep going.
Were you, though, surprised to hear those words coming from the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate?
I'm not surprised to hear a politician say anything at all. No.
Well, throughout the trial, you denied that Mr. Trump had a role in inciting the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. You argued, first of all, that there was no insurrection, but
there was no insurrection. What was the insurrection? What? You're telling me after an entire year of riots, vandalism, murder, looting, destruction, all across the United States, major cities, Minneapolis, New York City, Los Angeles, San Diego, Atlanta, everywhere. But the moment this violence, which they called peaceful protests, showed up at their front door, all of a sudden they cared. The moment it was affecting the American people, but the moment it affected them, the moment it affected the elites, oh, well, we can't have that, ladies and gentlemen. We can't have that.
During your closing arguments, you seemingly admitted that there was, in fact, an insurrection, using that word, saying that was not up for debate. What role did the former president play?
You didn't understand the case. I used the word
I'll give you the opportunity to clarify, sir.
Sure. I used the word insurrection in my closing argument when quoting the charging documents. What happened at the Capitol on January 6th is absolutely horrific. But what happened at the Capitol during this trial was not too far away from that. The prosecutors in this case doctored evidence. They did not investigate this case, and
they doctored evidence. The prosecutors changed evidence before they proceeded to give it to the Senate. Nobody cares. No one will be held responsible ever, ever, ever. Take it to the bank. There is a different set of rules for the plebs, and there is a different set of rules for those at the top. The people at the top, they are able to steal, they can lie, they can cheat, they can forge documents, they can do whatever they want. They really can. They can do basically anything that they want, and they are never held responsible. Ever. Ever.
When they had to come to the court of the Senate to put their case on, because they hadn't done any investigation, they doctored evidence. It was absolutely shocking. I think when we discovered it and we were able to expose it and put it out, I think it turned a lot of senators. The American people should not be putting up with this.
The American people are stupid. I'm just going to say it. Most Americans are fat, lazy, and stupid people. They have very little connection to the political process. I will grant you it was a lot more this time, but look at the end result. Now, given all of the hijinks during the election itself, now that is a totally other story, but of course I'm not allowed to talk about that because YouTube 1984. But other than that, I mean, look at this country. Look at the people in this country. Can you really say this feminized, loose, pathetic American people is really worth all this fight? I mean, honestly, take your average person, your average citizen, and I hate to be reckless here, but most people are very, very stupid. Most Americans are very stupid. Ironically, that's actually kind of a bit of a stereotype around the world. Stupid American. Stupid American. It's honestly the most probably used stereotype against Americans from people across the world. Now, I don't really care for globalism, and I don't care for other countries and what they think of us. But to be honest, if we're going to look at ourselves in terms of our retrospective, let's just be honest with ourselves. The American people are stupid. They're lazy, they're fat, and they will listen to any amount of propaganda as long as it means that they can protect their comfort. Benjamin Franklin said that, it was the battle between freedom and security, right? Those willing to give up liberty for temporary security deserve neither. What he didn't recognize was this huge, grandiose America that we live in today. And people are too interested in the next episode on Netflix of their favorite show or Amazon or whatever, Disney, cancel that because of Corona, but needless as it may, people are just dumb. And I'm just going to say it. Most people are just stupid, asinine Americans. And honestly, we deserve a lot of what's coming to us right now. I hate to say it. People are too fat, too lazy, and too comfortable to do anything. The founding fathers are rolling in their graves.
We need to look at who these House managers were and look to see whether these are the folks they want representing them. It was shocking to me. Wouldn't have believed it.
Let's follow up with a point that you're making right now about the House managers, as you say, doctoring evidence, and the argument.
They didn't deny it.
For our viewers,
they didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers, what you're talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021, and the selective editing, you say, of the tapes. Is that the doctored evidence of what you're speaking?
Oh my God. Look at this guy's face. He's so angry. I don't blame him. Listen to this woman. You can see it. It's like in her. just to lie, to deceive, to try to, the moment it goes off the reservation, the moment the interview begins to set a tone or a narrative of a doctored document, which is illegal, presenting doctored evidence. You can ask the CIA and the FBI about that. Apparently, once again, another great situation where the elites are never held accountable. And even their lowly little jackboots that basically do all of their bidding, honestly, they just get nice little probations, guys. They don't get any, time in prison. This is America. There's a different set of standards. We live in an oligarchy. This is not a democracy. This is not a republic. This is a fucking joke.
That's not enough for you? That's not enough for you?
Wait. No,
sir,
no. I'm trying.
Listen,
I am not a juror in this trial. What I'm trying to be clear for our viewers is what you're referring to, because not everybody has been following.
It's not okay.
No, not everybody.
To doctor
sir,
a little bit of evidence.
Respectfully. I have not said it is. I have not said it is okay.
Ma'am, your question is
I want to be clear for our viewers.
Listen, what has to happen is
I want to be clear for our viewers about what exactly you're saying when you say doctored evidence.
The media has to start telling the right story in this country. The media is trying to divide this country. You are bloodthirsty for ratings, and as such, you're asking questions now that are already set up with a fact pattern. I can't believe you would ask me a question indicating that it's all right just to doctor a little bit of evidence. There's more stuff that we uncovered that they doctored, to be frank with you, and perhaps that will come out one day. But we won this case, and I'm not a sore loser, but what happened, or a sore winner, I should say, but what should happen is somebody should look at the conduct of these House managers. It's unconscionable, aside from all of the due process violations that my client had. And the media should be looking at a square, straight way. The straight way. When I watch the news, I watch one station and it's raining. I watch another station at the same time and it's sunny. Your coverage is so slanted, it's got to stop. You guys have to stop and start reporting more like PBS does rather than a TV news show that doesn't have any journalistic integrity at all.
Ooh. Needless to say, guys, this guy just absolutely goes scorched earth on this woman. The fact that she's trying to underplay that they actually doctored evidence after having weeks to prepare for this, fully knowing that everything that was going to happen. I mean, we're talking about from January 6th until now, they've had it over a month. And this is the best they could do. And in the process, they had to fake, they had to lie, and they had to doctor evidence. This is America. This is America. And then the media never holds them accountable. And anyone who dares to actually hold politicians accountable, you have the big tech media sphere saying this is violent or this is evil or this is, this, that, and the other. And then they try to cancel anybody who dares to defy the federal government. So welcome to America. We are basically despots. We are not allowed to speak truth to power. And people that are on the top have our main means of communication, and they have it in their back pocket, and they basically can do whatever they want. So, welcome to America. Welcome to America. I did want to do a brief shout out here. For those of you who don't know, this is Erichundley. He does a fantastic podcast. He oftentimes teams up with Viva Fry and Robert Barnes. If you haven't checked them out, they have a fantastic podcast. Actually, tonight, they do it every Sunday. And this is a man that, they work with. And apparently this is a guy who, he teams up with FBI agents. He teams up with CIA, former CIA, former FBI, people from all across the political spectrum, people that have been working in high levels of intelligence. And YouTube just completely destroys his channel. Just overnight, just gone. Not a single strike, nothing. No message whatsoever. He reaches out to YouTube, and boom, they refuse to actually acknowledge him. So feel free to reach out to him and try to share this clip that he recently just put out. So check it out.
I never thought I would be doing a video like this, but YouTube has shut down my channel. I had over 15,000 subscribers as of this morning. That's not as big as many other channels, but I've worked a long time, very hard, for years with a podcast and YouTube, putting together a community and content, got to 15,000 plus subscribers. Gone. I had no notice, nothing of any kind. I was midstream. Somebody texted me saying, "Hey, is your stream gone?" And I was like, "What?" Whoa. Saw a video had been removed for violating community guidelines, and then all of a sudden other people were saying, "Hey, is your channel removed?" I had no warning. I've never had a strike of any kind. No warnings. Anything else. I checked my email. I got this email from Google.
You guys get the point. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, check me out on Odyssey. I don't expect any of us to survive this purge at this point. Well, I mean, we're basically screwed. Big tech, the federal government, and pretty much everybody has made it abundantly clear that there can only be one opinion allowed. And if you question the narrative, then you are somehow a Nazi, you're a white supremacist, and you should be deplatformed. If you question things, if you question science, if you question an election, if you question why we have a foreign policy that kills millions of Muslims and people all around the world, including drone strikes that 90% of them kill innocent civilians, well, then I guess you're evil, right? If you don't drivel up the propaganda, then you are somehow a monster. If you dare to defy the man and Big Brother, then you are the enemy of the state and apparently the enemy of big tech. Social media is being cultivated in such a way that channels like this, as well as Erichundley, who has basically been outright banned, anybody who dares to dive into a political subject, you risk being banned. And ironically, I have been working on another channel for non-political content because it just seems like we're in a losing battle. And even whenever we get a small win, like the acquittal today, it doesn't really matter because our lines of communication are shut down. I mean, Jesus, they shut down an entire platform with Parler. They shut down an entire platform. That's how far they're willing to go. They are willing to ban the former president of the United States. What chance do we have? What chance do we have on these platforms? We have none. So I recommend you check out BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, MeWe, Telegram. We have to go elsewhere. We have no choice. This is the world we live in now. We live in a 1984 society where anybody who dares to fight against the establishment is destroyed, gone, if not throttled, banned. Imagine all the small channels that have been completely removed because of all of this. It's not about the bottom line anymore. This is not serving them. This is not helping them with advertisers. This is not helping them make money. This is about driving an agenda. This is about making a collective voice. This is about rooting out the individual and anyone who dares to propagate the idea of individuality, masculinity, right politics, freedom, liberty. Anyone who dares to fight back against a deep state establishment, a actual fascist oligarchy in America is destroyed. And that's where we are. So check him out, Erichundley. I feel bad for him. And it just makes me look at this channel and I say, how am I going to survive? There's no way. There's no way. I am so much spicier than this guy. And believe me, I've been holding back quite a bit. But, I mean, you go through my Rolodex, there's plenty of things they could find some flippant way to ban me. They say, "Oh my God, he did this. Oh my God, he did that." I mean, they already said that I was engaging in criminal behavior, supporting criminal organizations. Supporting criminal organizations. You see, it's fine for the left to say, hey, you know what, go out there, burn, loot, murder, do whatever you want, right? But the moment people on the right are saying, hey, you know what, we want to fight against this, and use the word fight, don't use the word fight. Unless you're on the left, it makes me, part of me, and this is kind of sad to say, makes me wonder, would my life be better if I just took the blue pill? Would my life be better if I never actually got interested in politics, if I never actually investigated and did deep digging and went through the WikiLeaks files and actually went to the sources of the information rather than the propaganda that is pushed onto the American people? Would my life be better if I was blue pilled and just, really interested about the next new show on Netflix and I never even dived into this? It really makes me wonder. I'm sure I would be happier. I definitely would be happier. I can guarantee that. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Imagine cheering on. Imagine being on the left and cheering on your money being taken from you. Your jobs being taken from you. Your entire way of life shut down. And then fear constantly pushed into your brain. And then anyone in your social circle who dares to break away from their dogmatic rhetoric is instantly castigated and sent to the gulag. Because that's what they want. These are the psychotic people that would literally line us up. And they wouldn't even question it because they actually think, they really do. They really believe that we are Nazis. They really do. They believe it. They believe it. They are a cult. This is how cultists think. They kill. They're evil. They want us dead. This is what we're dealing with. I hate to be frank, but it is what it is. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know how else to put it. We do have some good people on the front, fighting back against this absolute just ridiculousness. Matt Gaetz, I'm a huge fan of what's going on in Florida right now. I'm a Florida man myself, rocking that, what is this? Carhartt? Yeah. I got that nice little, that redneck flair going on right now. Not too much of a redneck, but, either way, take a look.
I'm proud of the work of Steve Scalise in calling for more of a criminal probe into whether or not there was obstruction of justice or other violations of federal criminal law. Of course, since the Biden Justice Department has become a political entity with political appointees, I doubt that'll happen at the national level. But it's something to watch the media's coverage of Governor Cuomo and Governor DeSantis. Because, of course, in Florida, we didn't embrace a lockdown strategy. We instead protected those long-term care facilities, those nursing homes, with a cocoon of testing and, all kinds of work to ensure the virus wasn't putting those folks in risk. And then in New York, you had them literally having folks on a carousel from hospitals with high COVID activity and then into those nursing homes, and now a cover-up to limit the access to the data that would.
It's crazy. The media makes it seem like Florida is this evil place. It's not. This place is great. New York, on the other hand, there's a reason why people are coming to Florida from New York. The most transplants in Florida are from New York. They're leaving in droves. Those people are tyrannical. They're evil. I highly recommend, if you are in a blue state or at the very least a blue city, which is most of them, unfortunately, and your life is not improving, and if you have a way or a means to get away from it, do yourself a favor and just go. Things aren't going to get better. They're talking about this lockdown all the way until winter of next year. Winter of next year. 2 full years, essentially, of this. And then what? Because you know what's going to happen in the winter. For some reason, the flu just magically disappeared. Just magically disappeared. It's almost as if the flu is being counted as the coof. No, that's not possible. No, there's no way. Got to be very careful with the things we say, guys, because this is 1984. And this is how we communicate now. We communicate by censoring ourselves and lying and being gullible American idiots. So, Speaking of what actually happened in New York, Glenn Greenwald, one of the few lefties that, I have a decent amount of respect for, take a look. Is there any evidence at all that the statement from President Biden is true? Does it matter? Statement from President Joe Biden on the Senate vote in the trial of Donald Trump. It was nearly 2 weeks ago that Jill and I paid our respects to Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who laid in honor of the rotunda after losing his life protecting the Capitol by a righteous, violent mob on January 6, 2021. The Biden statement about the impeachment vote delves deep into the riot itself and those killed. The Trump statement didn't mention the events on January 6 at all. The substance of the charge is not in dispute. Huh, interesting. Not in dispute, huh? On the right, says Sicknick texted him Wednesday night and said he had been pepper sprayed, but he was in good spirits. Huh, so he seemed to be fine. Amazing. New York Times just quietly appended this so-called update, which is really a correction, if not a retraction, to its January 8th article about Officer Sicknick's death. This is the article that caused the media to spend a full month spreading the false fire extinguisher tale. New information has emerged regarding the death of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick that questions the initial cause of his death provided by officials close to the Capitol Police. Interesting. The New York Times is withdrawing its original story in the slimiest and least informative way. No editor's note, no explanation of how it's going, because it knows the readers, Dems, don't care about the truth. They like the fire extinguisher story. If you think that's hyperbole about how Dems think, that they desperately want to be fed politically pleasing fake news, check the rage under any tweet of mine, including these, that points out the original story was 100% false and nobody knows how or why Sicknick died. Huh. Interesting. You see, they like fake news. They love it. They don't care about the truth. They care about power. And most people say, oh my God, like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous because they do the exact same thing. But to them, in terms of their ideology, they view everything through the lens of power. So anything in terms of their means to attain power, the ends justify the means, right? You got to crack a couple eggs in order to make an omelet, right? And that's just the way they think. They think in terms of power. So even if a story is false, even if it's a lie, they don't care. Because at the end of the day, they just want power and any means to attain it. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up right here. 33 minutes, pretty decent podcast on here, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. My name is Lucius Coal, the Sanity stream. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and or comment. I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you guys. Peace. Coltrane. Choo-choo! Yeah. Lift some weights, boys. Hopefully you got yourself a nice date for the Valentine's Day today. Call your mother and let her know you love her if you still got her. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.